Hello everyone, I'm Suzanne Hamilton, Director of Ascension Counseling Center. You're watching Ascension Counseling Center's video newsletter where we talk about the services we offer and how you can benefit from them. Thanks for joining us. Last episode, you met several staff members of Ascension Counseling Center. In this episode, Lisa Weber Curry, Manager of Clinical Services at Ascension Counseling Center, introduces you to several more. Won't you please stay with us, hear about their specialties, and get to know more about them? Our newsletter begins right after this message.
Ascension Parish, a parish steeped in tradition. It's a place where generations of families have continued to enjoy a lifestyle that centers on community living and community celebration. It's a place where we care about each other and we care about ourselves. For more than 50 years, the Ascension Counseling Center has continued the tradition of helping individuals and families change behaviors and change lives. The Ascension Counseling Center.
Hello everyone, thanks for being with us. I'm Lisa Weber Curry, Manager of Clinical Services at Ascension Counseling Center. We're joined now by Ryan Schutte, Licensed Professional Counselor, and Dr. Robert Bowens, our staff psychiatrist. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good to be here.
Ryan, today we'll start with you first.
All right.
This is your opportunity to introduce yourself to our community, let people know who you are, what you do, and what your credentials are, please.
All right. I'm Ryan Schutte, LPC. I went to LSU for training. I graduated in August of 12, and as you know, I did my internship at Ascension Counseling and
Yes.
kind of never left.
Exactly.
So I've been here ever since, and I do a little bit of everything, both mental health and substance abuse. We do assessment in substance abuse and mental health and treatment on both. I see a wide variety thing, anxiety disorders and depression, you know, sometimes personality issues.
Okay.
Runs kind of the gamut.
Does that include with children, adults, families?
Yep.
Tell us your population.
I've seen children and adults, occasionally a family here and there, couples.
Okay.
And so really one of the good things about the job is you do get to see a little bit of everything and meet a little bit of everyone. So
Great. Okay. So tell us briefly what brought you to counseling, because we all have a reason why we choose our profession. So what brought you to counseling?
Well, this is actually kind of my second career. Before I was in counseling, I was a musician, and I was living in New York. And one of my friends who used to be a social worker sent me a book. After I read it, I was just really interested in it. And as I came back to Baton Rouge afterwards, I thought, you know, that might be an interesting profession to try.
Okay.
I thought it'd be a lot easier than music, but
You learn differently,
yeah,
right?
I learned differently.
Yeah.
It's very complicated, but it's just so interesting to me, the human mind and all the new research that's coming out about attachment theory, how we attach to our parents and other people, and how that affects us our entire life, and you know, the brain biology, and really how a lot of these issues that we go through that really used to be stigmatized, you know, if you were dealing with these issues, they thought there was something wrong with you, and now we're really learning that a lot of it, you know, is genetic and or you know, and also influenced by our environment. So it's really interesting time to be in this field. You know, science is teaching us a lot of things in this field now that we had known for so long, and so it's really changing quite quickly.
Right. It's really rewarding at this time because we know so much more and we're learning so much more.
So basically what I do is I think of my job as I'm kind of a detective in patterns. I look whether I'm working with small kids with ADHD or an adult with depression or a couple, you know, I look at the patterns in their lives, the way they think, the way they act, you know, the way they feel, and how, whether that's patterns in their community, patterns within themselves, you know, patterns everywhere, and you kind of look at what's working and what's not working.
Right.
And sometimes you can get some insight into why those patterns are there. Like I said, attachment theory, how those
Right.
things have been working over and over and over again for years and years. And sometimes they don't even know that that's what's happening. And you can give them some insight into that and then generate a plan with them about, do they want to fix it? Is
Right.
it important to them to fix it? And if so, how do they want to fix it? And then sometimes we can refer to this guy and he can help them a little bit better.
Exactly. So all those patterns, when we identify them, it teaches us as well as the clients how they influence each other, how each pattern affects the other pattern.
Yeah.
So that's a great way of looking at it.
And it's interesting because you see, I think the one thing is you have to keep a fresh mind, because someone will come in and they'll start saying something and you'll see, well, that's just like this other person, it's the same pattern. But really, it's very nuanced, and in the nuances of each person's story, that's where you're going to figure out how to crack open that pattern for them and begin to, help
give
them
them
work
insight
their
and
way
help
out of it.
Right. Okay. So it's in the details.
Yes.
Yes. So it's safe to say, as counselors, we have to be very detailed oriented.
Oh, yes. Have
Okay.
to have a good memory.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you so much, Ryan.
Thank
That's
you.
really good information, and I'm really happy you're on our staff, and so are our other staff members. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Bowens, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, your credentials, and what you do for us at Ascension Counseling Center?
Yes, I'm a psychiatrist. I'm a doctor of medicine. I graduated from LSU Medical School and did my training in psychiatry in New York City, and have been in practice down here in this general area in New Orleans for quite a while. My role at the clinic is to prescribe medication for various kinds of problems that people come to us with.
Okay.
Depression, anxiety, attention deficit disorder, all respond well to therapy, and also, if things are not going as well as we would like them, to medication treatment.
Okay.
We treat children, adolescents, adults for all of these conditions.
Okay. And I think you bring out a very good point, that the therapy and the medication management go hand in hand. They work
Absolutely.
really well together. We need them both to make
And I
it
really
work.
like the fact that we have that teamwork here with clinicians that do good therapy, like yourself and Ryan here, along with me, that when I'm needed to add a medication aspect to the treatment.
That's great. I know one of the things that we, as the counselors, when we're in staffing with you, that we really enjoy is that it's an educational time for us, because you teach us a lot. You take the time to explain to us about medications, the effects, what's best, the different populations. So that really helps us out a lot. What would you say to the community when they're a little afraid about trying medication? They think there's that stigma attached to it. They think it makes, oh, there's something wrong with me if I have to take medication. So how would you talk to the community about that?
That's often a problem, and it's a bias that we have to help people to overcome. The vast majority of people that we treat are normal people like you and I, who happen to have a
Exactly.
bit more anxiety than they can cope with, or a bit more depression, or who can't focus and do their schoolwork, or focus on their jobs. They're people like us,
Right.
that just need a little extra help. And the medications that we have nowadays, we have had many advances in medication treatment, and most of the medicines we use now have very few side effects.
And you're always monitoring for that.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, because I know that's a concern sometimes clients have as
Oh,
well.
sure.
But you do, not only do you see them and evaluate them, but you follow them with medication management.
We
to
see them
make
regularly,
sure.
yes.
Okay. Well, I think we have a great team at Ascension Counseling Center, and I think we really do work well together, and I'm happy to be a part of the team. One last question for each of you. How long have you been at Ascension Counseling Center, Ryan?
Oh, I think I just made my 4-year anniversary of actual employment, but then I was there, I think, about 5 months before I got employed. So closing in on 4.5 years of total time.
Okay. And Dr. Barnes, how long have you been?
I started at the Gonzales Mental Health Center, which is a stateside, in 1993. And when this began, when the Counseling Center for Ascension Parish began, I was its first psychiatrist and still am. I'm not sure exactly how far back. I think that's 15, maybe
So
years
we
or
go,
more.
yeah,
So I've been here the whole time.
closer to 20. Yeah, that's a long time.
I don't think there's anybody employed by the counseling service that's been there longer than me.
And you're exactly right. You've been there the longest. So community, we have a great guy. He hasn't left. We love having him. Come see us. Thanks so much, guys, for sharing this time with me this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Barnes, Ryan, thanks so much for being here. Please stay with us. The Ascension Counseling Center newsletter continues right after this.
Everyone is different. You're having a really bad day and things don't look right. And you call the office and you say, I just don't know what to do anymore. I would tell you that that is not how it was meant to be. And it's not fair for you to go through life living a difficult life. But a lot of people that live in our parish don't realize that we're there, or don't know that you don't have to have insurance to go there. You can go there and we work strictly on your income. You could pay $2 to come in and see a doctor, to see a therapist. We have an anxiety group. We have a parenting group. You would be very comfortable being there. You can come in and we can talk to you and we can comfort you. We can be friends. We can understand. We can listen to what your problems are and what has caused you to feel the way that you feel. In the end, you would be very pleased that you ended up there. I've said it once before, but I'll say it again. It's more fulfilling than anything else that job could possibly give me, by seeing a patient or a child or an adult's life completely turned around. That's a good day. Hi, my name is Lisa Lopez, and I'm a nurse at the Ascension Counseling Center.
Okay. Welcome back. Joining us now are Lisa Lopez, our licensed practical nurse, and Courtney Brim, our licensed professional counselor. So Lisa, you're up first. Welcome, guys. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, your credentials, how you help the community at Ascension Counseling Center.
Okay, I've been with Ascension Counseling this is my 10-year anniversary, so I've been here quite some time. I've been Dr. Barnes' nurse that whole time. I think my credentials are, actually I was in a unique program that allowed me to go to high school and nursing school at the same time.
That is very unique.
Yeah, only a handful of girls were picked from my high school, and I was able to graduate close to the same time as I graduated high school. So from there, I've done quite a few different things. I've been in geriatrics, I've done pediatrics, I was a school nurse for 10 years, I did some home health, and then now with you guys, and love it. Love working with Dr. Barnes. He's phenomenal, and so is, all the counselors are really great. My primary job would probably be medication management, medication education kind of things, and of course, making people feel comfortable and understand that we treat everyone special, and everyone deserves a chance to be able to get medication or counseling to help them with their problems that they're having at the time. I probably relate a lot to them because I've had a child with a attention deficit before that was difficult, and then being here for so long, I've seen lots of people recover from their problems and their issues, and so I'm able to be a good little cheerleader, I think, to a lot of our people.
I think that's definitely a good way to describe yourself, because I've watched you at the clinic, and you are a cheerleader for the clients when they come in down or upset. Sometimes you're the first person they see before they ever get to the counselor. Right. So I've seen you really work well at getting them calm and educating them. When you talk to them about medicine, are you teaching them, the proper way to take their medicine, how to handle side effects? Generally, it's pretty good
as far as Dr. Barnes is really good at educating them. I basically, and of course, they're a little more anxious with the doctor than they are, I think, with me. They just feel that. And so I'm able to just explain a little bit more in detail. It's pretty easy. They usually take it morning or night, that kind of thing. But a lot of people don't understand that sometimes they call it a happy pill. Well, it's really not a happy pill, and so I helped them to understand, okay, well, everybody has chemical imbalances, and you know, so I help them generally understand what's going
You
on.
help them understand how the medicine affects the chemical imbalance and makes their mood more stabilized.
Correct.
This is
Correct.
what you're working with them to do. That's great. So how do you work with the counselors there? What's your role with the counselors
Well,
at
Dr.
Ascension
Barnes and I
Counseling
kind of
Center?
are our own little entity as
Okay.
far as the counselors. They usually see the patients or the clients there quite a few times before they ever get to Dr. Barnes and I.
Okay.
And usually I think they have to see their counselor 2 or 3 times for them to figure out if they do need to actually see Dr. Barnes. And so then at that point, they were referred to me to get an appointment for him.
Okay.
Our evaluations are a little more extensive than regular appointments, so I have to set up some extra time for them. But and then from there on, they come in the next time they come in to see Dr. Barnes, and then they usually see me, and we go through the medication process, and then start a program after that.
Okay. But I also see that a lot of times you and the counselor spend time talking, because sometimes you're able to get a little information and the counselors get information, and you make sure you collaborate so
Correct.
that we can provide the best care for our
Definitely.
clients.
Most of the times the counselors find out a lot, but you know, sometimes patients are upset and they think about something after they've seen the counselor or the doctor, and then they report it to me. And so
Right.
we have a good chance of, we have staffing a couple of times a week where
Okay.
the whole staff gets together and speaks about whatever problems different patients are having, and then we collaborate, like you said.
Right. Okay, and come up with the best possible treatment plan
Correct, yes.
for our clients. Okay, great. And 10 years is a long time, so congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that.
I do like it though. It's a great
Okay,
place to
great.
be.
We love having you as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so Courtney, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, your credentials, you know,
Sure.
a shout out to your university, if you will, and what you do at Ascension Counseling Center.
Well, I'm Courtney Bram. I graduated from LSU, did my undergrad and my master's there.
Okay.
And then I came actually here, Ascension Counseling Center, for my internship. And while I was here, I did a lot of work with adolescent substance abuse, as well as working with children and adults. But my focus when I was from an internship was working with adolescents and substance abuse.
Okay. And so then you became,
Then in 2011, May of 2011, I graduated from LSU,
Okay.
and I worked briefly in a partial hospitalization program where I worked with the chronically mentally ill.
okay.
And from there, then I came to Ascension Counseling, and I made my 4-year anniversary this month.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so now you're at Ascension Counseling Center. You did your internship with us, which was great. You did a really good job. So now you're a licensed professional counselor with us, right? So tell us about the population you serve now.
I work a lot with adult substance abuse. I also do adolescent substance abuse. I work with children, teenagers. I find that I work a lot with people in their 20s and 30s, where they're kind of in that transition period, whether it be they just graduated from school or they're trying to find a career and trying to kind of find out what their path is.
Okay.
And so I work with them a lot. That population, I feel like I work with them a lot.
Okay. And I have seen you a lot with that particular population, and I see them going in. So, Courtney, since you work with a lot of individuals in the 20s to 30 age range, and you say they come and they're looking, trying to find out what they want to do in life, how do you help them find their purpose and set them on a path to getting to their purpose and actually actualizing their purpose?
Well, a lot of times I find that individuals will come in and they're ready to unload, so they just start telling us all these things that have happened that led to them coming to counseling. And so usually what I get is, I just want to feel normal, I want to feel better, I want things to change. And that to me is very vague. So I work a lot with them on defining what their goals are, so that I'm clear on what they would like to get out of counseling, and we can work together and collaborate to get to a resolution or get to where they want to be in their life. So a lot of times in session, I'll ask them to close their eyes and visualize if things were different, like what that would look like.
Great
And I have
question.
them really just describe what they see, so they can see what it would look like for them to be successful,
Okay.
and I can be more clear on what that looks like.
Okay.
And sometimes it's really a hard thing to do when you try and say, well, I just want to feel normal. Well, what's your normal?
Exactly.
So I work a lot with them on defining,
Okay.
what they would like to get out of counseling and what's important to them.
Because if they can't see it, how would they know they've actually reached it? How will they know they're normal? How would they know that that's their purpose if they can't even visualize it? So you start with a key step with them.
And a lot of times you find out they don't know what that looks like. They don't really know what they want the outcome to be.
Right.
You know, sometimes you're in crisis mode, so you're not thinking about, you know, what the end of your journey here at Ascension Counseling may look like.
Okay.
So then I know that's where we need to start, is, you know, what your goal would be, what your normal would be for you.
Okay, great. You have a great process to get people to where they need to be, so that's wonderful.
Thanks.
Okay. Any other tips either one of you would like to leave with our community?
I think that I still bump into people sometimes that don't realize that a lot of our clients are on sliding scale. I had a lady I bumped into yesterday that told me she needed help for her child, but she didn't have insurance. And I'm like, well, that's what we're here for, so definitely give us a call. So
Great, great.
The only thing I could say is a lot of times people have a lot of anxiety about coming to counseling for the first time. So I always say, and this is just, you know, in your everyday life, ask questions.
Okay.
You know, if there's a lot of unknowns and it's preventing you from achieving something you want, just ask questions. Call us up and ask us what the process is like, and we'll explain it to you.
Great, because being informed helps you make a decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also know you're not alone. I mean, everyone has some issue of some type that is bothering them, and they have to learn how to process it and deal with it. Some people need help doing it, and I think we're perfect for that.
Exactly, because we're all in the process of growing. We all
Exactly.
at some point in time will encounter something that we may need help with. so-
Correct.
Okay,
And don't always know how to handle it.
exactly, and that's what we're here for. Okay, great. Thanks for being here, ladies. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
We see a lot of children that are actually being raised by their grandparents. There are so many resources that we can help you with to help you figure out what to do with this child, to help this child understand what his goal in life is. Having one little boy come in and hate his life and have a scowl on his face and not want to be there, and then a month or so later befriend him and come in and smile at me and talk to me and give me a hug, which those children don't do that very often. So by having that hug rewards me more than any paycheck that a person could give me. It's more fulfilling than anything else that job could possibly give me, by seeing a patient or a child or an adult's life completely turned around. Hi, my name is Lisa Lopez, and I'm a nurse at the Ascension Counseling Center.
Welcome back. Joining us now are Stephanie Turner, licensed professional counselor, and Carolina Hernandez, provisional licensed professional counselor. Welcome, ladies. Stephanie, let's start with you.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, your credentials, what you do at Ascension Counseling Center. Just let the community know who you are.
Let's go. Let's first kind of start with the educational background.
Okay.
I attended Grambling State University for my undergrad.
Okay.
Then after that,
What's your undergrad degree
Oh,
in?
I'm sorry, psychology.
Okay.
And then after that, I attended Nichols University, and then I graduated there with my master's in psychological counseling.
Okay.
And then after completing my education, you know, I kind of started, my initial job was in substance abuse, working at a detoxification center.
Okay.
Then from there, I transitioned to working with severely mentally ill population. And then from there, here at Ascension Counseling. So I've been here for about 5 years, and I definitely have enjoyed my stay here.
We've enjoyed having you.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. I'm a licensed professional counselor, as you said. I've been a licensed professional counselor for about 4 to 5 years. I'm kind of rusty with the numbers. I don't know that exactly. But I like to look at myself as far as like what I do at Ascension Council. I like to look at myself like a good home down south gumbo, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So the population that I see marriage couples and some couples that are not married. I see some children, but just a small population of that. Definitely adolescents and adults, just people dealing with depression, anxiety, some people having self-esteem issues that just want to just uplift their mood, and they just want to have a better perspective of who they are. So I really feel like I said, I'm that gumbo, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, just mixed in, just to, in my mind, I think makes a well-rounded counselor.
I would have to agree with that. That's for sure. Now, are you working toward any certifications, or have you received certifications?
2, actually. I'm working on a specialization for marriage and family, and then I'm also working on a specialization for a registered play therapist. And that population, you can deal with children from, let's say, age of 1 on up, because kids, like unfortunately, like adults, kids just don't sit down and say, well, let's have a conversation, we're going to talk about this. Kids communicate through their play. So the training that I'm doing is just very intense, and just teaching about how to communicate with kids through their play, because the untrained eye will come in and think, okay, you're just playing with some toys, that's you're not doing any therapy. But you can also, when the kids are playing with those toys, you're walking into their world and what they see. So what's happening in their home life, the kids will recreate it with the toys. And I just think it's very amazing, because when I first heard about it, I thought, yeah, right, you're just playing with some toys. But then the more I learned about it, I was like, oh my God, it's really counseling that's taking place. And it can be so helpful, because you can actually see what's going on in that child's life. And it's just
their
simply
play.
Yes.
And oftentimes when they're playing, they're telling a story.
Yes.
Not only just watching what they're doing, but verbally. They are telling that story, talking it out through their play.
And I find that, you get more, the kids, and sometimes as well as adults, because you can do play therapy with adults too, people are more relaxed. It's kind of like when you're doing something with your hands, it's like your brain frees itself and you're like, okay, now I can talk. And it just opens up that line of communication. I think it's just simply amazing.
I think it's really key that you mentioned you can do play therapy with adults, because sometimes as adults we forget how to play. We're all about the business, taking care of our families, being successful in our careers and on our jobs and in our marriages and relationships, and we forget how to play and just laugh. So play therapy for adults, I think it's a great idea.
Because like when most adults come in, they're like, play? You want me to play? Like, I want to do this. And so I'm like, okay, let's explore this for a moment. And so something that you can do, like with the adults, is the sand tray. And so the sand tray, let's imagine right now a box of sand. And what I would ask them, like, create your world. Show me what your world looks like. And so sometimes with adults, they're a little bit resistant. And sometimes with adults, they say, well, I don't know how to create my world. I don't know. But believe me, that sentence says that they don't even know what's going on in their own lives right now.
It tells a lot.
Yes.
That is wonderful. Great. Are you also working toward becoming an LPC supervisor?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That hopefully, well, I'm not going to say hopefully, on March 22nd, not March, April the 22nd, I will be LPC supervisor, so I can, like Carolina, she's saying she's a PLPC, I will be able to train someone that's working towards their license.
Okay, so they would be able to be under your supervision for the 2 years needed, and then you can train them, you can work with them, they can consult with you on cases, right? You can give them some direction and guidance and help them to become an LPC. Okay. Do you think that's really rewarding for you?
I do, because I I always look at it as like in life in general. I like to give back. You don't want to just keep information to yourself. You want to pass this information along to other people to make them better along their journey of life. So I think that's necessary, not to just hold these tools inside and guard them as if I was a soldier, but to open up and give it freely and give people guidance. Because when I was a counselor in training, a PLPC, I needed that guidance, because it's like I needed someone to say, well, wait a minute, take a step back, breathe, what are you doing, with this client? And it definitely helped me along my journey, where I feel like it made me a better counselor.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much, Steph.
Thank you.
Carolina, it's your opportunity now to tell the community what you do at Ascension Counseling Center, what your credentials are, and the population you work with.
Okay, so I started off at LSU. I graduated with my bachelor's in psychology and a minor in sociology there. And then I went on to complete my master's at LSU as well in counseling. And so part of that counseling program, the master's, was you know, not only the curriculum, the classes, but also going on and getting hands-on experience in the field under supervision, where we worked with clients and kind of got experience that way. So I completed part of that practicum at Ascension Counseling 2 years ago. And then I went on to complete my internship at a partial hospitalization and intensive outpatient program. And so that was kind of educationally the background there. After I obtained my master's in counseling, I went on to work at a partial hospitalization intensive outpatient program, mostly working with chronic mental illness, schizophrenia, bipolar, things like that. And so now my journey brings me on to Ascension Counseling Center, where I've been for almost a year now, so I'm really happy to be here.
I think it's great that a lot of our interns have come back as full staff employees with us as, you know, counselors. It says a lot. It says a lot to us that, you know, we enjoyed having you and we wanted you back and that you wanted to come back. So now that you're back as a full-fledged counselor, how long have you been in that role and what population are you serving now?
So I've been back at Ascension a little less than a year at Ascension Counseling Center, and I'm working mostly with adolescents and young adults. I really like working with that population. I think that's a time in life where we're going through our identity development, just trying to figure out who we are and what we want to do with our future, and you know, not only the academics, but also maybe dealing with some harsh things that we hear some people say, and then just really who we are and where we fit in life. So it can kind of be a struggle sometimes, and so I really enjoy working with that population.
Because oftentimes you find they're searching for autonomy. They're trying to break free from parents in that stage, while still following their rules, and, you know, still listening and being respectful, but still trying to identify for themselves, who do I want to be? You know, are these characteristics mine, or are they theirs or my parents, or what? So yeah, that's definitely an interesting and challenging population to work with.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think, you know, that's the time when kind of the front of our brain is still developing, so we're still learning how to make decisions and how to control our impulses and kind of the social aspect of it. And so sometimes we get into sticky situations where we don't really yet know how to decision make, but that's kind of part of the process of growing up and learning to be autonomous, like you said. So I think sometimes I have clients come in and they're really anxious about either work or school or maybe relationship problems that are going on, and they're having what we call racing thoughts, just one thought after another. And so part of what I like to do is just to help them slow down, you know, just take a minute, because sometimes when we're really emotional, we don't really make decisions based on thought out processes, mostly just based on emotion. And so I like to help them slow down, and maybe I'll do some deep breathing with them in session, and I'll help them kind of visualize a peaceful place for them. Maybe I'm thinking about a beach, so what does the sand feel like? What does the ocean sound like? Where does the air, you know, smell like? And so it really helps them slow down and start to calm down that anxiety so that they can actually process what they're feeling.
It puts them in the here and now. It takes everything else away and just puts them right in that moment.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, because I think that sometimes we feel that shoveling down our emotions is kind of the way to do it, and neglecting those feelings. But I think if we do that, a lot of times all those emotions just build up and can actually be a little bit more destructive instead. So it's important to come in and feel like you're in a safe space where you can not feel judged and be able to talk to somebody that can help you kind of sort all that out.
Do you find that when you're talking to the adolescents and you're discovering that they have all these issues that are going on, that you have to then pull the family in, because a lot of what they're thinking about themselves is what they've heard. A lot of their behavior is what they've seen, and they're just repeating it. So do you pull the families in and start to talk to the parents and work with them as well?
Absolutely, yeah. It's really important to have a open communication with the family and the parents and the grandparents and whoever's involved, just to know that it takes a village, and so it's important to be able to communicate and set goals, and just for everybody to have clear expectations and be on the same page. So it's really important to have the family come in and work together as a team and build on communication and all those aspects as well.
Right. And you're also communicating with with other agencies to make sure we're providing the best services for the client. So you have to speak with the schools as well, right? Sometimes FINs, other agencies, just so we make sure we totally understand what's going on with the client.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so part of the job I do is, mental health intakes, but also substance abuse evaluations, and so that requires a lot of communication, like you said, with other agencies, and just making sure that the clients are getting the very best help that they need. So.
One point you brought up that I think is really critical, and it can also help parents when they're trying to figure out, why is my kid behaving this way? Why are they making bad decisions? When you spoke about, their adolescence and their prefrontal lobe is not fully developed yet, so they're not going to always make wise decisions. And actually, it's not developed until they're age 25. That's when it's fully developed. So I think that would be key. That's a key point, you letting parents know this so they know how to handle and deal with their kids.
Yeah, I think it's really important. I like to encourage clients to know that even though we may not always have control over what happens to us, we have control over how we react to a situation. So I like to remind parents and clients alike, in whatever stage in life they're in, that you can take control and just deal with that aspect of it.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds really good. Look, thanks, ladies, so much for being here. We appreciate you guys being a part of Ascension Counseling Center. We'll have more right after this message.
Today is a special day. Today we gather as a nation and as an international community to recognize the selfless decision of one of the most influential women of our time. She's been recognized by religious figures and politicians around the world. To us, she's just Rachel. But to the rest of the world, she is the woman who, after having one too many drinks, chose not to drive home buzzed. Here today to honor Rachel is the family whose lives she spared.
Thanks for staying with us. Joining us now are Tatiana Brown, our Provisional Licensed Professional Counselor, and Dawn Bennett, our Intake Coordinator. Welcome, ladies.
Hi. Hi.
Tatiana, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Just let the community know what you do at Ascension Counseling Center. What are your credentials? Just give them some tips.
Okay, some tips. Well, my name is Tatiana Brown. As you've already said, I graduated in 2009 from Southeastern with a degree in psychology.
Okay.
From there, that's actually when I started working at Ascension Counseling Center.
Okay.
I started as their intake coordinator.
Okay.
I did that for a few years. And then I went to school at Nicholls State University to receive my master's in psychological counseling.
Okay.
Graduated in 2013 in that.
Okay.
From there, I became an intern at Ascension Counseling Center and then was promoted to Provisional Licensed Professional Counselor, and I'm working towards my licensure at the moment.
So is that what you mean by Provisional Licensed Professional Counselor?
I do not have my license yet. But
you don't have your full license?
My full license,
okay.
But by the end of the summer, I will have it.
Okay. So in order to get your full license, what are you doing to reach that goal?
I have to have under the minimum is 3,000 hours of supervision.
Okay.
And when that is direct hours with clients and indirect hours as well.
Okay.
So that's my notes for my clients.
Okay.
And from there also I have to take our national exam.
Okay. So you're getting your supervision under other licensed professional counselor supervisors?
Right.
Is what you're doing?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So you are currently able to see clients at Ascension Counseling Center. So tell us about the population you see.
Most of the population that I see is adolescents and young adults.
Okay.
For anxiety, depression, anger management, and those sorts.
Okay. Do you lead any groups at Ascension Counseling Center?
I lead the anger management group at Ascension Counseling Center, and also from time to time I am working with the adolescent substance abuse group.
Okay. So anger management group, tell us a little bit about it.
Anger management? Okay.
Yeah, and how do clients get in that group if they need it?
They will first need to contact Dawn, our intake coordinator.
Okay.
And then from there, she will give me their information. I will first have an individual session with them.
Okay.
Just to get to know each other, one-on-one, see what's going on in their anger management issues.
Okay.
And then from there, they will be put into the anger management group.
Okay. And the anger management group meets
Anger management,
for how long?
It meets for 6 weeks, and it's once a week.
Okay.
And from there, if I feel and if the client feels they have not met all the, the needs, everything that they needed, we can extend the time.
Oh, great,
longer.
Great. To make sure that we meet their needs and their goals.
Exactly.
Okay. Do you really enjoy doing the anger management
I do,
group?
yeah.
Because that can be a challenging group, so I think it's interesting when someone chooses to lead that type of group.
They not only learn about themselves, but they learn about their background, their family, and how their family taught them to handle their anger and their emotions.
Okay. So they see that some things are based on generational issues.
Right, learned behavior from family.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. Okay. So, and you also see adults too. Do you see couples? Do you provide any services?
I do provide couple services as well.
Okay, great, great. Well, thank you, Tatiana.
Thank
that was
you.
very informative. So, Dawn, tell us all about yourself and what you do for our agency.
Well, my name is Danielle Bennett. I prefer to go by Dawn. Everybody knows me as that. I am currently the intake coordinator.
Okay.
I'm from Gonzales, Louisiana. Have a Bachelor of Arts in Mass Communications from Southern University, and I'm currently working on a Bachelor of Science in Psychology online with Southern University.
Great, great. How long have you been with the agency?
I started with Ascension Counseling Center in August of 2012.
Okay, great. So, yeah, be 4 years this year.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, you are the entry point to our agency, right?
Exactly.
You are the one, when clients knock on the door, you're the one answering, right?
Right.
So tell us what you do to answer that call from our clients.
Whether it's a walk-in or a phone call, I always try to make sure they're comfortable, be a smile in my voice, because I'm the first person they're going to talk to, the first step of their counseling. So I always try to make sure that I'm helpful. If we can't serve them, I'll always make sure there's another reference point that we can send them away with.
Okay, so you're able to refer them to another agency.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm calling into the agency. I want some counseling. What information are you looking for from me to ensure that I'm placed with the appropriate person?
When you call, typical phone call, I'll capture your name, your personal information, make sure you're a client of Ascension Parish, because we only serve Parish clients. Then I get a background history of what's going on, what's the initial cause of why you're needing counseling. Then I have to place you with the appropriate counselor based off your insurance, your ability to pay, or the counselor's background, what their specialty is. So it's a lot of factors that you have to take in when someone is calling in for services.
So you're looking at, it sounds like right off the bat, We look at insurance
Right.
because certain counselors are credentialed with certain insurance companies, so we have to abide by that rule because that is the law.
Right.
And then the next thing you're looking at what the client's needs are based on what the counselor's skills are.
Exactly.
And you match them up accordingly.
Yes, it could be a task.
I
Because
imagine
sometimes
so. Yeah.
a caller may have more than one issue, maybe substance, maybe mental health, maybe both. So I have to make sure they're going to see the right person to get the
Right.
services they need to help them.
Okay, that's very interesting. Are there other roles you have at Ascension Counseling Center?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about it.
There was the one point I was doing the marketing for the agency,
Okay.
going around to different agencies and letting them know about what we do and that we're in the community. Another role I played, I used to be the Medicaid application person. I inherited that role from Tatiana.
Okay. Okay.
I was the receptionist at one point. It's a lot of different jobs in the agency that I can do that I have been in different positions in the agency.
Okay.
This one seems like a good fit for what I want to do later on, you know, as far as in this
Right. So
position.
it ties into your direct goals
Right,
for the future.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's always good to actually see the people that we're helping, put a face to the name,
Right.
and see them as they come in from intake to the point when they finish services or as they grow
Yeah.
from their sessions.
Okay. What do you see since you actually are the entry point and then you see them oftentimes when they're leaving out, they're done, sometimes because you're giving them referrals or something. So do you see a change in the clients we see?
When they come in, everybody's nervous, especially if they never had counseling before. It's a lot of unknowns. So to see them come in fearful with millions of questions and then to see them walk through the hall with their counselor with a smile on their face or like some type of reassurance, that's always a good thing to see.
Yeah, it's very rewarding.
Right, right.
Okay, great.
Because you never know who's calling, what type of emergency or who's walking in.
Yeah.
So you always have to be prepared for the worst. But you know, somebody's always there to help.
Yeah, and that's great because I know sometimes when people finally get the courage to call, sometimes they're frustrated,
Right.
they may be angry, and it sounds like it's coming out at you. But
Exactly.
you've learned how to just still keep that smile in your voice to calm them
Yes,
down.
because it's not always a pleasant phone call
Right.
or a pleasant visit. So you just have to realize that they need help, and that's what we're there to do. So we just have to just reassure them that we're here to help you. If it's something we can't do, we'll refer you to the appropriate people. So
Right.
that's just the hardest part.
Yeah. But I think as long as you keep the empathy you have
Right.
for them, you're going to always do a great job. Great. Yeah, I think it's safe to say you've been around Ascension Counseling Center.
Yes,
Yeah. In a
being
lot
from
of roles.
the different roles and coming from working at the state where you just saw paperwork, but then
Right.
coming here where you actually see the people, it makes a difference and it all
Yeah.
ties in together.
Okay. Great. Well, thanks so much for being here, ladies. You can reach any of our guests on this show by calling the Ascension Counseling Center at 450-1016. Suzanne Hamilton wraps up our show with some closing comments right after this.
G morning, sunshine. Wakey, wakey. Text me back. Hey, did you tell your parents about us? Let's skip first period together. Did you get all my texts? Is practice over yet? Where are you at? Are you with your friends? That's L-A-A-A-A-M-M-E-E-E. Capital X, lowercase o, capital X, lowercase o.
I love you. JK. I hate you. JK. Are you ignoring me?
We're in a huge fight right now. Is this something I did?
I can see your lights on. I'm coming
This
over.
isn't a
What'd you
joke.
dream about?
Me? I'm lonely. Holla back.
Holla back.
Let's try something new. Nude pics. Send me some. Text me.
Thanks for spending your time with us for this episode of Ascension Counseling Center's video newsletter. You can catch replays of the program exclusively on Ascension 21 on the days and times listed on your screen. or anytime on Ascension 21's YouTube channel. We look forward to many more episodes where we can talk about what's available at Ascension Counseling Center and how our programs can help change lives. Remember, Ascension Counseling Center is here by way of your support. We're a department of Ascension Parish government, and as such, we're all parish employees. We're funded by a 2-mil property tax millage, which means that $2 from every $1,000 you pay in taxes goes to support our agency so we can provide free and low-cost mental health and substance abuse outpatient services to residents of Ascension. We're located in Gonzales at 1112 Southeast Ascension Complex, which is off Worthy Road across from the courthouse and next to the health unit. You can reach us by calling 450-1016. You can also find us on the web at www.ascensionparish.net/MH and on Facebook at Ascension Counseling Center. Thanks for your support, and until next time, from everyone at Ascension Counseling Center, thank you for watching.